Let's go to Anne Bremner. She is a criminal defense attorney and also a spokeswoman for this group of friends of Amanda Knox. Anne, good to have you on. Let's just begin here. This testimony, potentially huge here. How might this weekend's testimony be a turning point in Amanda Knox's appeal?
Well, it is huge, and it could be a huge turning point, Brooke, as you stated, because Rudy Gaudet, the real killer, the lone killer, said back before Amanda's trial on Skype, where the police overheard it, that Amanda wasn't there, she was innocent. That didn't come in the trial, but now it's corroborated by a witness, and he's in for a horrific crime, but inmates, you know, these chattering inmates overhear each other, and he confirms exactly what Gaudet is saying now, which is she's innocent, she wasn't there. I don't even know Raffaele Sollecito, her supposed co-defendant, so it's huge. As to the mobster, that's, you know, it could be incredibly helpful or just incredible, but the bottom line on that is he came forward to the authorities a long time ago, and they wouldn't hear from him, so it goes to show the bias in the underlying investigation with that latter witness.
But as we're talking, Anne, as we're talking about prison inmates, as we just mentioned, Alessi snatched an 18-month-old boy from home and killed him. 18 months. How are prison inmates reliable witnesses? I mean, in terms of credibility, lackluster at best at times.
Well, I mean, we used to say as prosecutors, and the crimes committed in hell, you don't have angels for witnesses, but the fact is inmates are in prison for a reason, and he's a notorious criminal. One of the lawyers in the case for Meredith Kircher showed a sign of the boy and said, "Do you remember him?" "We do," and the judge kiboshed that essentially. The fact is that's who inmates talk to, and oftentimes we have information from fellow inmates, as we do here, but it's corroborated by what he said a long time ago and corroborated by the fact that Amanda Knox and Raffaele are innocent.
As part of the group, your spokeswoman for family and friends of Amanda Knox, you're in touch with her parents. How are they? And how's Amanda?
This has been 3 birthdays, 4 Christmases in prison. She's only 23. They're holding up as best they can. I heard from part of her family today, and they were hopeful, very hopeful about yesterday, even more hopeful with the DNA and forensic evidence we're going to hear about shortly. But what a long haul. I mean, you send your child off abroad and then she never comes back. It's every parent's worst nightmare. But they spend, every month they've got members of the family there, they rotate, and they'll do this from here to eternity to protect their daughter and get her home to Seattle.
They do alternate. They do see her periodically, I know. You know, given the past case and looking ahead, how hopeful are they, realistically, Anne, that she will be able to come home?
I think for the first time they are hopeful, really hopeful. There was a little glimmer of hope before the verdict, but those jurors were exposed to media. They weren't sequestered. The trial wasn't fair. The prosecutor, of course, was convicted of abuse of office, and there was no forensic evidence, no hair, no fibers, no DNA, no blood, nothing to connect Amanda. But now we've got the forensic evidence coming up with an independent review, which is going to show that she's innocent. CNN had a fabulous piece on the evidence, as you know, and the lack of evidence, so they're very hopeful. And finally, the prosecutor now says himself that he cannot place Amanda Knox in the murder room. That, too, is huge.
Well, you mentioned it. We're committed to covering the case all the way over there in Perugia, Italy. Anne Bremner will be in touch. Thank you so much.